Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What we're reviewing today, Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 is a sequel to the 2011 game of the same name, just less numbers. Dead Island 2 is developed by Deep Silver and Dambuster Studio, published by Deep Silver and PlayOn. I believe that's how you pronounce it, PlayOn. It is first-person survival action role-playing game. A little bit of character building and things like that, and it very similar to the original, just a lot more to it, I believe. It is out on the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series S, X. I think that's pretty much it besides PC. I believe PC's got it too. All right, so let's jump into this game. It is, like I said, a sequel to the 2011 game of the same name. And if I remember correctly, I enjoyed it enough. So let's find out if I enjoyed this one enough too. But let's go to Nick first. Nick, what do you think? Are you Dead Island and loving it?
Yeah, it's an all right game. I wouldn't say it's like the best game. It's not the worst game either. It's an okay game. It's it has its moments, it has its things. That's my little air freshener thing that just poofed into the sky back there.
I thought it was a ghost fart.
It might be. So that's Dead Island.
Got crop dusted by Casper.
That's from the zombies that are the bloated zombies. That's what it looks like. No, I mean the game, as far as looks, the game looks really nice. There's certain, so I mean, I don't know. We're trying to remember Dead Island because I played a lot of the first Dead Island, like a lot that and Riptide, because Riptide was the somewhat sequel kind of spinoff of Dead Island. I played a lot of that, and it was kind of the first of its kind type of game where we didn't have a lot of games like that. And, it kind of came out and it was kind of a success, I think, at the time. This one is kind of more of the same, really. I don't know if there's anything really much different in the terms of like, new additions to, what the formula, right? It doesn't seem like the formula is kind of recreated here. It almost seems the same formula as we had before, which isn't a bad formula. It's just there's really nothing new added. It doesn't seem like from what I remember from Dead Island. You still got the same durable weapons and zombies and different zombie types and the skill trees, the skill cards and stuff like that. So that's all the same. So the game is okay. It can be fun at times. It can be frustrating at times too. I think for my character, I picked Carla. Carla's an okay character. She has a lot of skills when it comes to blocking. Probably a good character to play if you're playing single player, because you could, if you block a lot and get your blocks timed correctly, you can do a lot of damage. And she's kind of a tank in a sense. So as long as you block, otherwise not so much. But for me, it was like, I don't know about you, Shane. I had the hardest time. It took a while till I found a weapon that I actually cared to use. I was flipping between weapons constantly because I felt like none of the weapons, like either they were too slow or I just didn't like the feel of any of the weapons. It wasn't until I think about halfway through the game or so when I finally got the fire axe that I started using that, and I really enjoyed using that weapon. And that, besides the guns and stuff that you do get later on in the game, the fire axe is pretty much like all I use exclusively. Like I just throw everything into the dumpster because I don't care to use it. I just use the fire axe because it's the only one that I feel like, for me, I have the most fun utilizing, right? And so it's a weird thing in that sense. But the skills that you unlock throughout the game, they're pretty good, except for, I don't know about you as well. There's a lot of skills that you trigger with LRs, right bumper, left bumper, or the sticks. And I constantly forget that those are a thing. So it seems like a lot of skills. I probably am not utilizing a lot of skills because I just don't, I forget. Like when you're in the moment and there's zombies everywhere, you're not thinking about, oh, this button combination does this. You're just trying to bash everything in that you see. And also with the map layouts, like Beverly Hills is where you start in the game. Beverly Hills and Bel Air are the first two main places you go to. You also go to a movie studio, but I figure the movie studio is more like a dungeon. It's kind of, because the other places are kind of open world and have side quests and things like that. And the movie studio is kind of like this dungeon that you're going through in a sense. You do revisit in side quests and things like that, but it seems more like kind of a dungeon and not like an open area like the rest of the map is. But Beverly Hills and Bel Air, I dislike those maps. It wasn't until we got to Venice Beach that I absolutely loved Venice Beach. That was probably my most favorite map as far as being able to explore that area and go through that area. That's when it's kind of weird with the game. It almost feels like once you get to that point, it gets better, right? Once you open up the weapons, once you get to Venice Beach, it's like, that's when the game starts. Otherwise, before that is a bunch of like, just get through this crap before you get there. And then once you get there, then you're like, okay, this is much better. Because I felt like for myself, I was enjoying myself more once we got to Venice Beach than I had prior to getting there. But what do you think?
Before I give my opinion, let me drop Pat's. Pat was unable to be here. AT&T filled his basement full of fecal matter, and he's got a mop right now. So, but Pat does enjoy the game. I'm paraphrasing, just from our gameplay together. He does enjoy the game. He does have a few issues with the game, but I think it's kind of a typical, a few glitchy things. Something's not working right. He was unable to use a weapon for a bit, and I ran into that too. So, but overall, I'm just going to give an overall for Pat. He enjoyed the game. So there's that. Now back to me, the special one. Dead Island 2 is funny. That's my first impression. It is my very first impression of the game. It is funny. I cannot honestly remember if one was as funny. I do not remember that at all. Riptide, I do remember had some comedic stuff to it because it wasn't that long ago we all jumped into it for a bit. But the game's funny. I enjoy the characters. I really, really enjoy the characters. And a game like this, you got to. And yes, Nick, you are correct. Bel Air and Beverly Hills are the worst maps so far. Now, the hotel that you have to go to, that's almost a dungeon in itself. It's a lot smaller than the movie studio, but it has more of a dungeon crawly feel. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hotel. But Bel Air and Beverly Hills didn't give a squirt for him. I really didn't. There was a few neat things here and there, but nothing to brag about. But when you got to Venice, like you said, it was like a new game. It was like fun. Now it was enjoyable. The weapons you got were better. That's when you started getting a hold of firearms. But the mission sets for those areas were fun. You got to go to A, B, and C. One place you go is a military base. You try to find the bodybuilders. I mean, it's, I'm trying not to give too much away, but it was so much better after that. I had so much fun with that. The game overall is really, really good. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It does have, and if I remember right, the original came out kind of rough too. It does have some glitchiness to it. I crashed to the home screen 3-4 times during our gameplay. And I think that was because I was rushing into a new area, doing like a jump attack and then swinging heavy. In the game, I was like, I can't handle all that. And I'm spent. So it does have a few technical glitches here and there. I also ran into it where I couldn't swing my weapons sometimes, or I couldn't shoot sometimes until I swapped weapons out and then came back to it, and it worked fine. It's just a glitchy thing, but nothing game breaking though. I found nothing broken in the game that just ruined it for me. Um, the character sets that you run into though are the best part. They really are. The gameplay is fun. But it's what you did last time. It really is. I think what carried me through, because we normally, this group will skip cutscenes. If we haven't seen them, we'll skip them sometimes. We watched them all because most all of them are just funny as hell. There's a few areas that gave me a Dead Rising feel in there, and some of the comedy aspects kind of had a Dead Rising feel. That's an old zombie game, so if you haven't played it, you should check that one as well. But I have no complaints about the game. Far as would I buy it again? Yes, I would. I think I think they did a fantastic job. I would like to see some patches come in, fixing some of those issues. And like Nick said, graphics were really nice. I believe it was Unreal Engine 5 and 4, but I don't think it was like fully utilized from some of the videos I've seen about 4 or Unreal Engine 5. But nice looking game. Dialogues are great. Character designs are great. Couldn't be happier. And is it worth a 60? Yes. I definitely think so. But I would like to see some patches, clean some things up. But co-op, for the most part, I don't think we really had any issues with the co-op. We were able to do the things that we like doing in most co-op games. Nick, you want this, axe? Give it to me. Do you want this? Just, you just drop it down, they grab it. That's it. We need more games that have co-op like that. That are just, oh, do you want to borrow? You want this weapon? No, you're not able to take it because I already have it. Those piss me off. This game did not do that. They made the co-op fun. They made the co-op work well. So I'm a happy boy. I just wished, I wish there was a little more, a little more to the first two areas, to make it more fun, because that is kind of a slog in some points. But we played co-op, and co-op, we're stupid, so we make everything fun in co-op. So it doesn't really matter how bad it is. If we're together, we're doing dumb, childish things. So, but no, you get through those two areas. If you're by yourself, and it's a blast. I really enjoy this game. So, Nick, you have any real complaints, or because you didn't really complain about nothing, which you're not really the complainer in the group, that's me, but do you have any complaints about anything?
It's a $70 game, first off.
That's right, I apologize.
It's a little bit more expensive. I don't really have anything to complain about per se. I mean, there's nothing, like I said, I mean, yes, the dialogue, sometimes the dialogue is funny with certain characters and stuff like that. That is a good aspect of the game. The co-op is fine. I mean, I do like the swapping of weapons. I wish there was more. I wish they would have done more synergy with with your characters, like team type of moves and things of that nature, because really it's kind of like you're your own. I don't know. The co-op's weird because it's almost like you're your own zombie slayer, and besides throwing weapons down back and forth, you have no other relation to each other than that, right? There's no other aspect of doing anything with each other besides the fact that you're just together.
Yeah. The only time that was an issue, or that you're really required to be together, is when you're traversing to another area.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can run, Nick can run to the beach. I can run down and find, the muscle guys, and Pat can, go find that creepy yelly lady, and, we can all come back and meet later. I mean, it was not forcing it, but that's one thing I did like, though. I did like the freedom to be able to, you guys check over here, I'll check over here kind of thing. That was fun. We weren't, forced to stay within a perimeter of each other. But I do like the ideal of what you're saying, though. Cooperative moves, if you were to, whack a zombie's head off, I could, baseball bat that sucker across the street or something. Yeah.
Right,
I
like double
I didn't
teams
think about
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a double team move where, especially if you're playing co-op, that would be cool. But I mean, maybe the next one, because this game is sold really well. I think in the first week or so, they sold 1 million copies or something like that. So clearly that's going to, force them to make a Dead Island 3 or something like that. So maybe we'll get more of that cooperative kind of, extra cooperative layers there where they're doing like team stuff where you can like do team hits on zombies and stuff. One thing I also noticed too is and I don't know if it's because of co-op, the bosses seem really easy when you would think the bosses would be, because I mean, most of the bosses we fought would go down just about as easy as a normal enemy. It seemed like, which was weird because you would think they'd be a little bit more chaotic, but it's not. And I'm wondering if, and that just makes me wonder about the difficulty scaling when it comes to co-op versus single player, right? Is there any sort of scaling that the game does when you have more people, or does it stay the same when you only have one individual? I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's a good point. I mean, because some of the big baddies that ran around the map, the non-bosses, they were tougher than a lot of the bosses we came across. And yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it was, some of them were like, just pushovers, especially once you unlock the firearms, you could really just, violate things. So, I didn't think about
it was weird.
that.
Yeah. I'm just, that's more of a question, not really a knock on the game or anything, just more of a question on how they scale difficulty when it comes to co-op. And I think it's, was it 3-player or 4-player co-op?
4-player.
4-player. Okay.
So we had 3. We played 3. So
yeah, we played 3. I think you can have 4 players in cooperative style. Go out there and do missions together and play through the storyline. You can play through the storyline all together, which is really nice. So that's one aspect I do like about the co-op is that, it's not just, well, I don't know. I never loaded into the game unless we were playing all together. But, I mean, we would just load into Shane's game and start exactly where we're left off, and so I would assume everything I have
and it's 3-player.
is the same. 3-player. Oh, perfect. So 3-player co-op. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a $70 game, so take that as you want, but we don't have a lot of co-op games going on right now. So, this is a good co-op game to, especially if you're looking for something co-op to play with your friends. This is a good one to pick up right now because you don't really have much options as far as co-op goes currently. Hopefully more co-op games will start coming out, but it's a little lacking in the co-op department right now. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully some free, and I mean free DLC will come out with this. That's, and some patches, and the game just continues to be fun because I'm enjoying everything we've done in it, and I can't wait for the DLC. I'm sure there will be. I mean, I'm pretty sure they shot out some for the last one plus Riptide. So, but I enjoy the game. It's $70 is too damn much money for a game, but this one's, I won't complain about spending the 70 on this co-op. So, but you got anything else, bud? All right. Well, from the 3 of us, Pat ain't here, but he loves you all too. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit those notifications, and my personal favorite, interact. Let us know what you think about Dead Island 2, Dead Island 1, Riptide, the series, zombie series. What did you like? What don't you like? I mean, if you even like zombie games, what would you like to see in place of zombies? Barbies? I mean, just let us know. But until next time, see ya.